Joshua Pitts, Nathan Barker with CellU Therapeutics. Sharp looking coats, guys.
Craig, I will say one marking hurdle if you come up to tackle me. You just have to make that clear.
6 minutes has started, by the way.
Hi, my name is Nate Barker.
I'm Chris Needham.
And I'm Josh Pitts.
And we are CellU Therapeutics, a universal cell therapy solution for cancer patients. By a quick show of hands, how many people in here have had their lives impacted by cancer, whether that was yourself, friends, or family? Each hand raised in here is another reason we do what we do. We want to give all the cancer patients the best fighting chance they deserve and change the way we look at current treatments. And let me tell you exactly how we plan to do that. But first, a brief introduction to who we are. So at CellU Therapeutics, we aim to help cancer patients who are lacking functional T cells fight cancer through our genetically engineered universal T cell therapy. Our team currently consists of Dr. Edo Kaptanovic, who is our lead scientist with a background in cancer immunology. And all three of us right here are biomedical engineers at Westchester University. Together, we all make up a team of a bunch of nerds who want to fight back against cancer.
The current problem that cancer patients are facing globally is compatibility and response to cancer treatments. Many cancer patients are immunocompromised, which means they lack functional T cells, and that can come from the cancer itself or chemotherapy and radiation treatments. The current leading therapies on the market, such as chimeric antigen receptor T cell therapy or T cell engaging therapy, depend on functional T cells being present in the patient's body. Without them, those treatments will not have a response. The next option is to look for a donor, and there's an extreme difficulty in matching a donor. 70% of patients don't even have a donor match in their own family. And moving into, if they do have that option, or if they have T cells present in their body, the current leading treatments on the market, such as CAR T and TCE, like I mentioned, are extremely expensive for patients. At CellU Therapeutics, we have found a solution to all of these problems. Our lead scientist has patented a novel universal T cell infusion that enters the body and targets and eliminates cancer cells in combination with the T cell engaging therapy. What's most impressive about our technology is that in our preclinical research, we found that our therapy is outperforming the leading therapies on the market, like CAR T cell therapy. And we're able to produce our technology at a much, much lower cost, which reduces costs for patients. And Josh will tell you a little bit more about that.
So what really sets us apart from our competitors is that cost comparison. If you take a look at CellU, it only costs us an average of $5,000 to produce per patient. While looking at CAR T, on the other hand, it costs an average of $150,000 to produce just for the treatment that these patients need direly. And for the patient direct payment out of pocket, it costs us roughly $50,000 compared to our competitor at $500,000. Not only are we saving our patients a 10x save in money, it costs us 30 times less to directly produce. This makes our business not only more scalable, but more accessible to these treatments that they direly need. Now to dive into the market and to tell you where our company falls into it. For the total addressable market, there are currently 7 million patients a year who are eligible for this T cell-based therapy. This accounts for roughly $350 billion. Now, looking into the numbers a bit more, we aim to cater to 350,000 of these patients who are currently receiving these TCEs but are not benefiting from them, or they just can't receive the CAR Ts because of a weak immune system. Our goal at CellU is to treat 100,000 of these patients. And at an average price point of $50,000 per patient, this has an insane market gap of $5 billion.
So where exactly do we fall into this market that Josh just talked about? I think it's important to take a step back and first talk about the patient journey. That journey begins when a patient is diagnosed as immunocompromised, which means they don't have these T cells that we keep talking about. If they don't have these T cells, it renders some of the current treatments like CAR T useless, but that's where we come into play. Our technology allows us to get our T cells off the shelf and to any patient who needs them directly. This allows us to cut times and kind of cut out that donor T cell we talked about earlier, and allows us to get cancer patients the treatment they need as quickly as they can get it. Next, taking a look at our market gap, if we take a step back, our technology isn't on the market and just does not exist. We are one of one. This allows us to kind of fit as a plug and play and work with some other current technologies like T-cell engaging therapies, where there are already over 100 approved and developing treatments out there on the market. And finally, who's going to be purchasing this from us? Well, our first big customer would be pharmaceutical companies who are developing these T-cell engaging therapies. Like I said, T-cell engaging therapies depend on T-cells. We have the T-cells, they have the therapy. It's a mutually beneficial relationship where we can both thrive and get the cancer patients the treatment they need and deserve.
Now to touch base on company timeline, some short-term goals that we have up and coming. In 2025, we want to develop a preclinical proof of concept, where that will then guide us into good manufacturing practicing techniques, and followed by 2026, where we plan to improve and expand our technology to cater to more patients in need. This will then help prepare us for clinical development, where we will then, in 2027, establish pharmaceutical as well as manufacturing partnerships. To achieve all these goals that I've just mentioned, we are currently raising and seeking $9 million, which will propel us into the phase 1 of the clinical trials. After FDA approval, it is estimated that our company will be worth $1 billion, which offers a 25-to-1 return on your $9 million investment.
Here at CellU, we're not just entering the market, we're bridging the gap in the current cancer treatments. Thank you. If anyone has
Thank you, CellU Therapeutics. All right, we have 2 minutes for questions from our judges. Vince?
Immediately I'm thinking about regulatory barriers, right?
You know what, that mic seems to be sketchy. Let's do this.
So people that are topics, right, in the medtech space, there's usually a ramp-up phase. So I like that where you want it in the end, but there's also tons of IP involved. So it looks like you don't have a proof of concept yet. So can you walk me through the IP? Because it seems like you have some type of functioning, or is this totally theoretical?
No, we have a patented technology, or our lead scientist has a patented technology. We're developing multiple platforms, so our current base platform has the proof of concept, but we want to expand the therapy to be more efficient and be able to target multiple different types of cancer.
Can you talk about the ownership of the intellectual property? Who owns it, and are there any peer-reviewed studies on the technology?
Yeah, absolutely. Our lead scientist, Edo Kaptanovic, has the intellectual property, and the published paper, I think, is in Nature Bio. I'm blanking on the journal, but I know the article is published, peer-reviewed. I've read it multiple times. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Chris. Joshua Nathan from CellU Therapeutics.